Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Monday morning, 7:45 a.m. Gonna go out and do a little bit of a drive. Got a car behind me that's not gonna be too patient, so I'm having to tap the accelerator to be a little bit. He was on my tail, so that was a little bit of a rush turn there for traffic. Hope everybody's doing all right today. 5 or 6 days till 10.1. Seems like Elon is reinforcing his tweets that the software release is on track. So I think that's great news. Talking a little bit more about the Tesla insurance process and how that'll be opt-in on your car and information will be tracked. Can't wait to see how that works. Really excited to see if they actually do put in a new function for reverse capability. And how that works. I've got a lot of questions around that. You know, if the car's backing up and I press the accelerator, does it accelerate backwards, or does it, you know, I guess, you know, as a safety driver, I need to be aware of what pressing the accelerator does based on what the car is doing. I mean, I know I may feel the car moving backwards, but obviously there's always a few moments in there where motion can't be detected, but the car may switch. Like, you know, is the D in drive going to switch to an R? And if it is an R and I want to override it with a disengagement, does it go back to D, or does it disengage and stay in R and I have to switch it back to D? Questions like that are what I am thinking through. All right, I'm going to disengage here and take a right to get off of Roosevelt Avenue, just to kind of keep the street lights, main traffic down to a minimum, since we kind of understand that behavior and it's not quite as interactive. This is that intersection I had very, very bright sun a few days ago on. I got a little bit of cloud cover today, so I don't expect the sun's going to be an issue. It's actually got very nice contrast now. I can even see the green lights way up there at the moment. All right, at the moment it's green, unprotected, so there is no green arrow. Couple of cars to wait on. It just turned yellow and the car decided to wait. That was a good decision. I've seen it go on yellows with about that much time before too, but that time it decided to wait. So for those of you that are interested, this screen mod has worked out really, really good. I described it a little bit in my last video for those of you that are interested in how it works. But one of the biggest issues it solves for me while I'm recording these videos is that I can let the GoPro, you know, that's looking outside use auto exposure, and the screen obviously is being recorded separately. Some cool things though, if you didn't realize it, while I'm fiddling with this, you know, I can play with the screen brightness and it doesn't affect the video feed. Which I think is kind of neat. All right, we got a green protected arrow here. Nice. But anyway, so the screen mod just helps me have a separate video feed that isn't, it's not subjected to vibration from my mounting. And those of you with a keen eye may have also noticed I've turned on hyper smooth on the GoPro. So the car kind of weaves a little bit. You may see the monitor come in and out of view. That's the way GoPro's hyper smooth uses the frame to smooth out vibration. Curious if any of you think hyper smooth is annoying to let the screen move around. Should I fix it, or is it a little bit nicer to have this smoother video in the background now that I have the video feed separate? All right, we've got a double green here, and for those of you with a keen eye, I do have a flashing yellow school zone up ahead. I think we've pretty much determined that the car does not understand how to adjust its commanded speed based on a flashing light with a temporary speed constraint. Interesting, I did stop again here at this school paint line marking. It's not marking it correctly, but you can see just in front of my car, there's a little bit of uncertainty right there. I think you probably can see it with the 360 camera if I'm able to show it, that it stops at this spot before the stop line, which is way up ahead. There's a full 2 car lengths in front of me here. I do have a lead car. All right, I've got a green light and it's proceeding. Yeah. Flashing school zone lights, just keep an eye here. The commanded speed is still at 30. It should be bumping down to 15. I'm gonna hit the snapshot button for Tesla there. You know, a lot of input on how that should be done. This probably needs to be done with mapping, with time constraints, if it can't do it visually. I'm not sure. And right here is coming up at the end of the school zone right now, and it went back to 30. So there was a speed limit sign of 30 right there too. So I don't want you to mistake the fact that it bumped up to 30 that was the school zone. I think that was just visually on a speed limit sign. Truck approaching from the right, didn't hesitate at all. Very nice. Flashing yellows seem to be working correctly in this lighting conditions. I didn't see any red at that time. Kind of makes me wonder if the ambient conditions for the cameras are affecting when it sees red and when it sees yellow. All right, got a right turn coming up here. Looks like we got a green light, so it's it's protected to the right. Nicely done. Four-way stop to the left. Went down to 4 miles an hour, but it felt like a good stop. Sometimes I think that the speed indication isn't 100% accurate. I think that it isn't to 0 at the instant I feel like we've completely stopped. Okay, got a car turning left here and a pedestrian up ahead. Let's see if the pedestrian, okay, the car stopped and the pedestrian's waiting, so it just kind of waited on the car. That was good, nice and smooth. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do the full Memorial Park drive today, which is this route you're probably familiar with. I kind of wanted to come up in this neighborhood this morning, mostly for the pedestrians, the kind of rush hour traffic, a little bit of maybe school traffic. I keep hoping to get some school buses, but I just haven't had much luck with that. All right, so I'm actually going to disengage here and do a loop back to the right. All right, and at this stop sign, I'm going to re-engage. Kind of here at a hospital on the left. And turning right. Nice job there. Flashing yellow. A little bit of red in that one on the display. It didn't. It treated it correctly. Interesting back there. I think I just passed a dumpster that set off the ultrasonics, but it did not render anything. That's interesting. Not that I need it to be represented as a car, but that thing was huge and was actually over the parking line. Have to go back and look to see if it created any sort of path around it. I hope it wasn't blind to it. I think it just didn't know what to render it as. Here again on the right here, these parking spots, on the right side of the road should have a white line to represent the drivable space. It's doing a good job hugging the yellow left line, but I still think when there are parking spaces, especially in parking lots, it needs to somehow render the drivable space to not include the parking lines. All right, we have a little bit of an S-curve here. It's normally done this pretty well in the past, but it's also thrown on turn indicators. Let's see how it does today. No turn indicator there. That's good. So far, so good. Hey, that was great. I'm gonna say, God, this is where I wish it had a thumbs up button. Before it used turn indicators, I guess as a representation, just to the amount of the number of degrees a turn, even though it wasn't a turn. Got a car creeping out here. A little bit fast on that, but it slowed down appropriately and it stayed within the lanes. That was really, really good. Okay, it needs to get in the left lane here. This is a very confusing intersection that sometimes has problems with detecting what the lights are telling it. I have a red light at the moment. Okay, it freaked out and stopped. There's nobody behind me. Excuse me. Okay, it's a little confused here. It hasn't done anything wrong other than aggressive braking in the wrong spots. Had there been a car behind me, and there is one now, a little flash there. Okay, now it's got a green light. It's got a nice dotted white line to follow. Another yellow line to pick up. Hey, it did it. So, the only thing I'll say there was danger in the way it braked at the wrong spots for local drivers that could very easily be confused by what I was doing. So, it had all of the right tools. It gave itself some more time with its braking action. That's a very good job, though, at that intersection. I'm really glad I didn't have anybody behind me at the moment it was braking, and I was able to let it go and to see what it did. That was good. Okay, kind of back on a familiar route for those that watch the videos a lot. This is going to be an unprotected left at the end of this street across the 3 lanes of traffic. It has done this. That was a very good go around about a trash can in the middle of the road. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out, because there's a stoplight that looks like it's got some traffic backed up. I can see, I don't know, you can probably see it already. These cars on the other side of the highway are, well, they're accelerating now, but they're stopped for the stoplight that just turned green. So I'm going to have a nice big slug of traffic here that I need to watch to the left. I'm leaning as far forward as I can, and I can't see yet, so it definitely needs to do some creeping action. There's nobody behind me, so I can sit here. This intersection right now, this time of day, with this much traffic, a left turn is probably not the optimal way to go. This would be a better go to the right U-turn scenario. There's not a lot of U-turn opportunities on this street, but I know a lot of you say these intersections are ridiculous. Here's some traffic crossing. Okay, it's got a good gap. It needs to go though. Okay, I had to take over with my accelerator and disengage for stopping in the lane with oncoming traffic. Okay, let me give a quick review of that. Let me get my wits. Okay, it found the right gap. It initiated it. It didn't continue and then stopped with oncoming traffic that created a problem. The oncoming traffic wasn't going 55 miles an hour yet, because it looked like a woman driver that was just accelerating at the moment. She was kind of looking at me like, what am I doing? And then I needed to get into the median, but there was another car in the median that also obstructed the view back to the right. I was able to do it as a human. The car should be able to do it at some point. I just feel like there needs to be an action to get into the median there aggressively and wait on the clearance from the right. Making the clearance decision from both the left and the right in a dynamic situation, it's hard. Maybe one day we'll get there, but right now it's hard. I don't know why it wants to get in this lane right now. I don't mind it getting in this lane. I'm just a little confused about it. Yeah, because see, here we are, we're going back into the left. So that was a little bit of a unnecessary lane change. So here we are on 10.0.1, 10.0.1. Some morning traffic. I don't think there was anything new. Obviously, every time you drive this car, you see something new. That's kind of why I get out and do these kind of regular drives, is just to kind of find scenarios that pop in. I think it did pretty good. I keep coming back to the analogy that it's doing the easy stuff better and the hard stuff worse, if that makes sense. And when I say worse, it feels like it's putting me in a few more dangerous situations occasionally, and I think that's because of the aggressiveness they've added. And that's okay. I'm a safety driver at this point, and we're working and collecting data, and I don't mind, because I am in complete control of this vehicle at all times, and I'm comfortable with that. But if we're going to release the beta button in the next week or 2 weeks, those of you that get it, you're going to need to understand where we are on this evolution of software right out of the gate. I don't want anybody getting hurt. I don't want anybody assuming it can do more than it can. So maybe sometime before, if this button comes out, I'll do a little bit of a how to drive as a new beta tester video. I think everybody that watches my videos understand kind of what I think about how you should drive. A nice here, unprotected left with a nice gap perfectly executed, had a lead car to follow. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, for those of you that listen this far into the video, if you think a safety video would be helpful. I know there's a lot of you hoping to get FSD, and I'm hopeful for you also, but I just want to do it safe for both the team at Tesla and for the progress of the software. I don't want anybody to get hurt or any accidents to take over the storyline in the media. All right, there's Monday morning. Leave comments below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.